Okie dokie, boys and girls, we got another pull day on our hands, and well, pull day, that's a front lever, right? I'm building my back by building the front lever, getting stronger at the front lever, and today what I'm gonna do is a lot of holds, because, well, last time I tried a max attempt, turned out I hadn't gotten that much stronger yet. I think part of it was due to me being overtrained as well, but anyway, in order to get strong at the hold, we have to do a lot of holds, and today I'm gonna do that. Although, I'm playing around with a little less intensity, a little more volume, and a little more frequency. So that's how I'm gonna play it out in this workout as well. The holds won't be until the max. I'm just gonna do, sub-maximal stuff for multiple sets and try to get a lot of volume, in the amount of seconds that I am holding the front lever in total. And then after that, once that's done, I can move on to some more dynamic stuff, I guess, some presses, front lever presses, maybe even some weighted stuff, but maybe not, I'm gonna see. I really don't know yet, but, when you're training, right, to get strong, part of the difficulty is to, figure out how you should train, And for me, that's something difficult as well. I'm always in the search of, what I should do to progress, because, don't get me wrong, you should train for fun, but part of the fun is progressing, right? So for me, it's not just about getting a pump, about getting bigger muscles. Of course, I'm gonna eat a lot. I'm gonna try to put on muscle, but the fun part for me is to get stronger, and that's kind of that search. And it's not easy, but I guess if it was easy, the adventure wouldn't be there, right? So today, what I'm gonna do is, like I said, multiple sets of front lever holds, and I'm gonna start off with with one longer hold. Actually, I just wanna see just about where I'm at with the front lever hold, and then I'm gonna scale back the amount of seconds I hold in one set and do multiple of those. I might even do some, or actually I'm gonna do some planche holds as well, because part of the upping the frequency is that I have to do more than once every 3 days, right? I have to do it more than one time in every 3 days. I used to do push pull legs, and don't really do anything in between for the planche or the front lever, but I'm gonna try and change that. So today in this training, it's a pull day, but there's gonna be some planche as well. So enough yapping. That's the plan for today. Let's start with set number 1, which I'm gonna aim for 30 seconds or more, because it would at least, prove that I haven't gotten too weak. Let's go. "30 seconds feels difficult and heavy, but it feels heavy right from the start, I am not rested at the moment, because I'm doing a bit more volume, which, how did I say it? I kind of want to avoid not being rested, right? I kind of do want to feel light, but nonetheless, 30 seconds was okay. And now I'm just going to move on to some lighter sets, maybe 15 seconds, cut it in half, do 3 to 5 sets, the same for the planche, 5 seconds, and see from there. But, one thing, maybe I should put this fucking thing up, right? Like, it's, with training, strength training, right? It's difficult to figure out exactly how you should train, but one thing to remember is that as long as you're doing the actual exercise you're trying to get stronger at, you're not really doing anything wrong. So for me, I'm trying to get stronger at the front lever. As long as I do the front lever, whether it be, front lever pull-ups, front lever holds, raises, presses, right? As long as the front lever is in the name, it's a specific exercise to my goal, and it's gonna help me further some way, somehow, When I start doing pull-ups, like normal pull-ups, chin-ups, those are the things that are not gonna really help me out. So as long as your training is specific to what you're trying to get stronger at, you're good to go. Anyway, couple sets. Okay, so I just realized something funny. I mean, I don't know if it's funny, but I look like Quasimodo, the guy from the fucking fairy tale when I'm doing a planche. Like, I'm bent a little bit, or quite a lot actually, to the right. And my speculation is that it's due to the fact that I trained or used to train with an arm planche a lot, so I would always do it on my right arm because the way I got into it was I injured my left arm and I started, well, if I can't planche with two hands, I'll do it with one hand. That was basically my thought process. But now I notice, like, holy fucking shit, I'm a banana, but sideways. Like, it's kind of cool, but kind of worrying as well. But anyway, that's something I'll figure out in the future. For now, I'm gonna continue training. I did 4 sets of holds, which means 30 seconds in the beginning and then 4 extra of 15 seconds, 1.5 minutes of total volume in the front lever. Not too bad, I would say. Now I'm just gonna finish it off with some front lever presses. I'm not gonna go too hard. I might go up in weight a little bit, add a little bit of weight to my ankles just to have the front lever feel light when I do it next time. But yeah, other than that, I think the whole training itself went pretty good for how I'm feeling. I gotta figure it out though, because I'm trying to do more volume at less intensity, but it's also with the goal of feeling more fresh. So the fact that I'm feeling tired today might be a sign that I'm doing a bit too much, but like I said, you train some, you learn some. You live some, you learn some, whatever, right? Training is life, so that's the two sayings have the same meaning. But yeah, let's do a couple presses. I think, again, 3 to 5 sets. Probably more like 3 sets, to be honest. And that's going to be it for today's training. Let's go. Okay, so I have a real problem holding back during trainings. And that might sound cool and lead to sick bumps. Whew. But it's not necessarily a good thing, because if you train too much, well, you can't recover. I mentioned it time and time again, and I tell myself time and time again, like, you don't get stronger during the training, you get stronger afterwards when you're recovering. So if you don't allow your body the opportunity to recover, well, there will be no progress. As demonstrated last week, or I guess more than a week ago now, when I was trying my maximum attempt and failing all over the place. So you know, today I went a bit too hard, and to compensate for it, well, I made a problem, I have to solve it as well. To compensate for it, I'm gonna do a bit less greasing the groove in between the training sessions. I'm gonna do like maybe 2 sets of 15 seconds a day until the next pull training for front lever, but definitely not more, because, you know, like I said, if you do more during one training, you have to compensate during the other trainings, and in my case, the other trainings are raised groove. Not ideal, like I said, because I want to, have a steady flow of front lever stimulus, but nonetheless, that's what happened today. I mean, with training, I don't have a plan. I don't have my sets and reps set out, because it's just, life is unpredictable. So why would you make your training predictable, right? So what I do is I just have this vision in my head of where I want to go. I want to have a long front lever hold, and basically I try to aim towards that by trying various things. And one day I feel good, I do a training because I feel good. I do a bit more. One day I'll feel worse and I do a bit less. And I try to do it in kind of an intuitive way. Not to say that programs are bad, but it's like, when you're a beginner, use them, and then once you've used a couple and you kind of know what you're doing, try to deviate off of it, right? Try to kind of fabricate your own training as you go, because the adaptability, the improvisation is what's going to allow you to continue your training, even if the situation might not be ideal, even if you might be busy, might be tired, sick, whatever, right? If you don't have time to train and your workout program says that you have to train like 1 hour or 2 hours, right? Well, then you're in trouble. So either you can skip the training or adapt and do maybe like a 15-minute training, right? And all that is to say that there is no real ideal way to train. No one knows it, but you just have to keep looking. And so, have to keep, I guess, touching, like looking around, trying to find new stuff. Like I mentioned before, stick stuff against the wall and see if it's like throw stuff against the wall and see if it sticks. That's kind of the approach I'm taking. And well, maybe this is not really the moment for me to tell that, because why would you listen to me? I failed my attempts, but yeah. Anyway, that's the way I'm doing it. That's the way I'm going to continue to do it. So hopefully for the front lever, in a couple of weeks, we'll be back in shape, back to feeling light as hell. Because if we can feel light as hell and be adapted to the front lever at the same time, we'll pass 40 seconds at least, I'm confident about that. So very, very fun stuff to look forward to. Tomorrow is going to be leg day, 1 rep max attempt on the pistol squat. So yeah, a bunch of cool stuff coming my way. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow to show it off.